Hey, YouTube Street Fighter community, newcomers and veterans alike. This is Jinsei back at it with another video of what is lost in modern controls. Explained earlier, we are skipping over DJ Kamijiri for now. We're going to get straight into the Shotos. These are the two characters that are most iconic with Street Fighter that a lot of new players will gravitate towards, much like Sub-Zero and Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, Soul Bad Guy Kai Kiske in Guilty Gear. Ryu and Ken are one of the things that you think of when you think of Street Fighter. So we've already gone over Ryu. Let's go over Ken. Ken is the main that I do play in this game. And I have a pretty surprising opinion for him in modern controls, but we'll get there. To start off with, as always, we'll go over specials. Neutral special is Hadouken. Just like Ryu, this is the heavy version as well. Best speed, best damage. Not very good on block, unfortunately. Like minus 11. But we're not going to go over frame data here. Forward and special is going to be his Shoryuken. That is the medium version. Heavy hits 3 times. This is your best anti-air Shoryuken anyways. So this is definitely a good option to have on tap. So no lost air, it can be inputted either way. Hadouken cannot be inputted, but we'll go over that in a bit. Down special is his Jinrai kicks. People call them crazy kicks. So that's going to be his down special. All the follow-ups are here. That's doing special twice. That's doing the special button twice without holding any direction, and then doing down and down special again is the overhead. And then back in special is going to be the low. He does have, this is where I mentioned the overlap comes from. Since he does have his regular Dragon Punch, because that's a bit more important than his other Dragon Punch input, his other Shoryuken input, which is Dragon Kick or whatever, or like, I forget what it's actually called. But instead of Hadouken, we actually do get the other strengths of the Jinrai kicks. This is, I'm very, very undecided. And what I mean by that is that having the other strengths for Hadouken are good, but a lot of times the light, it'll blow up in your face more because he does have a bit more recovery on his Hados, so you're a lot more susceptible to jump-ins when you throw a bad fireball. The slow is always nice to have because sometimes when they just try to neutral jump it and just jump in place, they tend to land on it most of the time. But the interesting thing too is that for these Jinrai kicks, he gets loops of them in the corner, so I don't think this is that big of a loss losing the other Hadoukens. This is where a lot of the flashy corner damage comes from anyways. And last is his back special. I call it Dragon Slash. I think it's like Dragonish Kick or something like that. It has some name that I keep forgetting. Dragon Lash, there you go. This is the heavy version of Dragon Lash. This is kind of like the Street Fighter V equivalent of Ken players in that game doing like full screen heavy Tatsu because his heavy spin kick in Street Fighter V was a lot different. But yeah, this is a nice move for his running cancels. But we'll get into that in a bit. This technically isn't considered a special move. It's considered a unique input, like an overhead or something like that. But that's normally the Dragon Punch motion and kick. But we get Tatsu. But like I mentioned, we do lose Hadouken as a normal input. But I've hit all the specials. Any of them missing? The air one is here. That's right. Ken does not get spin kicks on special moves, on the special input. Those have to manually be inputted. This is what I meant, that I have a little bit of an interesting opinion with Ken because he's not better in modern control, but he also he's like the middle of the road of special control. Like, you are going to have to use at least get one input mastered or used to get like full potential of Ken. So he's not worse in modern, But he's definitely better in Classic, but he's also not awful in Modern. I know I just basically parroted and repeated, but Tatsumaki for Ken has to manually be inputted with the quarter circle back motion. So it's important to Ken, mostly because if you get light Tatsu up close, it hits twice, and you can get either a light or a medium Shoryuken afterwards in mid-screen. So you are going to have to learn how to do a manual input to get the best out of Ken combos in mid-screen and for other purposes. Now for his air normals, we have jumping light punch, jumping medium kick, and jumping fierce. So important ones, jumping medium kick has always been Ken's cross up. Loses jumping light kick, no worries. And loses jumping roundhouse, which again, no worries. A lot of the jumping roundhouses in this game have slow startup anyways, so it's not a big loss for Ken. At least I don't think so. Now to go over his lights, standing light punch, nice little hit confirm button. Crouching light punch crouching light is his light kick. Machine guns into crouching light punch, so it's still technically there. And now we have standing light kick. This is a nice poke, especially for like you have to learn how to input your spin kicks. So you can always do something like doing the OD version of it to get like mad corner carry and some nice damage. But he has all his lights, which is good. Medium's next. Medium kick is here. This is his target combo. Very nice little very nice little target combo. You can like then rush in and get more pressure. Crouching is going to be his crouching medium kick, so you still get access to the typical low forward fireball stuff. Same thing, you can do the EX into that. You can do a DP into it. So the nice important hit confirm is still here. Now holding down auto and medium gives you his medium punch. This used to be Ken's old back medium punch in other Street Fighters, but now it's just his medium punch in this game. This is a very important normal for Ken. This is where he gets a lot of his juggle potential, and a lot of his specials confirm off of it. So he has this. Hitting it twice is obviously going to give you this, and that is special cancelable and also cancelable into run. So we'll talk about run now, just because for heavy, there's only one situation really for heavy, but this is always going to be your This is always going to be your go-to. Even the auto combo will show you. That'll be your go-to. So doing this into run into the Dragon Lash will give you that side swap kick and give you a juggle afterwards. The auto version of this shows you the optimal combo for it, which a lot of Kens do. You can also do level 3. That's his level 2. So that's usually what you want to do with it. Another thing you can do as well. Oopsies. Let's do that one more time. I did that a little bit too late. Ooh, Jesus. Who's bad? I'm bad. There we go. You do stuff like that. Get the double switch if you don't want to use a super. But he has his important medium is here. And now to end it with the heavies as always. Heavy roundhouse is here, which is great. I think this is probably one of Ken's really good normals for punish counters because you get the airborne state. With this, you can go into his run and get a DP in there. Crouching will be his crouching fierce. This is also a very good anti-air if you think your Shoryuken won't hit. And his sweep, obviously. Holding down auto gives him his heavy punch, so he does still have it. So his important heavies are here. Ken doesn't really have any overhead command normals, so no forward heavies, no forward mediums or anything like that. This is where his runs come into play. Each of these moves used to just be a forward input with a kick in old Street Fighters, but not here. It's part of his base kit. So hitting any two strengths, basically having to hit medium and heavy, will start Ken in this run animation. Depending on the button you hit afterwards is what he does. So doing medium and heavy and light afterwards is his run stop. So this will stop him in his tracks. Doing medium will do an overhead. This used to be in Street Fighter V. It was his forward roundhouse. You held it down, and in Street Fighter Street Fighter 4, I believe it was the same thing. It was a fake. You could do a fake out in that game. And last run into heavy is this poke kick, his step kick. This was his forward medium kick in 4, and holding down his V skill 1 and 5 gave him the same thing. But that's not where it ends. A lot of Ken's enhancements come from run, so you can do enhanced versions of his Tatsu, his Shoryuken, and his Dragon Lash. So doing run and inputting the input for Shoryuken will give him a fire DP. This hits more and it does more damage. The strength doesn't matter. This always hits 5 times. Go is the same length every time. So it doesn't matter what strength you use. Hell, even doing the forward special is good, but you lose the damage. Doing Tatsu from it does that. It used to be his old EX spin kick from Street Fighter 4 and Cross Tekken. So it's a nice, like, if you do, you know, I think something like kick confirming standing heavy, it is nice. And it leaves you right in their face. You can do whatever you want afterwards. And the last one is the Dragon Lash kick. You know, it does that. It's a +2, so you can't really get any combo off of it from standing. I think crouching might be a different situation. Let me see here. I don't think so. Hold on, let me see. Oops. Yeah, it's +4 on crouchers. So you can probably do something like... Oh, he doesn't have his like crouching light punch, so it's crouching light punch would work there. So he does lose that confirmable combo ability with that. With it being +4 and his crouching light kick is +5, so, or 5 frames, so it's not possible, but that's where a lot of his combos come from. So it's definitely important to learn the run stuff, especially on like drive rush cancel stuff, because you can do the drive rush into like a run. It's so awkward for me on modern. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try one more time. I don't want to keep trying this. Hold on. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna. I'll switch to classic and I'll show you. It's my fingers fumble on the way the layout is for me by default. But that's gonna be the last one for Ken, anyways. So usually you can do something like this. I'm not saying it's impossible in modern. I just have dumb fingers learning the input. But that'll be it for Ken. He's a weird hybrid of having specific normals only, or specific specials only usable in the special button, and then one that's really important to him, only accessible through motion. So Ken is a middle of the road character. You know, to learn the building blocks of Ken, I would definitely stick with modern and move to classic. And I would actually maybe even lean a little bit towards learning him in classic regardless, just because you're gonna have to learn how to do that specific input for a spin kick anyways. So you might as well just stick with classic in his case. But again, that's my opinion. If you can stick to modern, he's definitely more than capable of doing the same exact stuff in modern than that he's able to do in classic. So he really doesn't lose important normals at all. I mean, I actually think I might have forgotten to, outside of his crouching medium punch, which is also special cancelable. And it is definitely important in terms of combos, but I mean, you can definitely just still do something similar like that with Ken anyways. But the crouching medium punch does confirm into like the target combo too. So it is a bit of a loss, but not a huge loss so far. But that'll do it for Ken. You know, like I said, I think he's fine in either control scheme. I'm biased and prefer to slightly go towards the left. I'm not going to show like big combo damage or anything like that. It's definitely going to be easier on classic because you don't have to worry about holding down auto, but at least for my button layout. But that'll do it for Ken. Let me know in the comments if I've missed anything important. Hit that like button. Leave any comment of any type of feedback if you'd like. Hit that subscribe button if you want to. And we'll go ahead and continue on with the other 3 and finish the rest of the cast from here. Thanks very much. Have a good day.